So, decades ago, in the last year known as 2013, Marvel released a brand new thing called the Superior Spider Man. Now, the whole premise of this book was that Peter mind wiped. Who jumped in that empty cavity? Mr. Doc Ock himself, who was now controlling Peter's body and thought that, hey, I have the influence of Peter Parker on me. I could be a hero. I could be the superior Spider Man. And that was the whole premise. He learned his own morals. And it was this whole thing because at the time, the comic book community, there were lots of people that were mad. They were saying, how could you do this to Peter? Is this justified? And on the other side of that spectrum was people saying, hey, these are superheroes. It's cyclical. They die and rebirth all the time. And Peter's going to be back. And at the time, I was on their side. I thought, hey, Peter is going to come back. It's going to be fine. But when we look at something like the death of Miss Marvel in the recent Amazing Spider-Man run, people are saying the exact same thing. It's awful. Another side saying, hey, she's going to come back anyways. But I think the point of this event is not the why of it all, it's the how. And frankly, it all feels pretty hollow to me. I'm Noah Garcia. Welcome to Comic Kick. Okay, so before we talk about the death, we need to set the stage. We're going to go to the bare bones of this thing. I'm not going to go into the complex, every plot point that's been in this book of the current Amazing Spider-Man. Bare bones, baby. Straight to the calcium. Hey, Editor Noah here. I just want to say that I understand that there have been lots of controversies regarding the writer and author of this current book. However, I will not be talking about them specifically, nor do I agree with any targeting or online harassment of these creators. I'm simply talking about the ideas that are presented in this book and whether or not I like them. Spoilers, I hate them. But yeah, no smack talking, not in this video. Thank you. That's it. Editor's note. Future Noah, bye. Okay, so in this Amazing Spider-Man run, we open up with Peter. Something awful happened. We don't know what it is, but all we do know for certain is that Peter, Mary Jane, they're on the outs, and Mary Jane has kids and a partner slash husband or something, and it's this crazy whiplash of an emotion, especially since the last book, he was thinking of proposing to her, so it's quite the turn. Over the course of the series, we see several decisions that are made throughout the book, such as Norman Osborn becoming an ally, and Miss Marvel pops up once or twice. And you see Peter go on a journey that some people are interested in, others feel like it's not done very well, but that, again, is up to your own discretion. So the past recent arc has explored what happened during that little time jump that caused them to split apart. Basically, this evil bad guy who's trying to appease his god is like, hey, fuck you, Spider-Man, fuck you, Mary Jane. In order to, achieve my ultimate goal, I need to kill both of you. So they do this whole big fight, bang, 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 and they get sent to another reality. And in this reality, Earth's destroyed. Unfortunately, they try to escape. They meet this guy named Paul, and while trying to build a device to get home, Mary Jane sacrifices herself in a way and pushes Peter and says, go, get out of here, we'll be fine. So Peter escapes. Peter then beats up his friends, looks for information, tries to get back to that universe. What we have found out is that during this event, time runs differently. While there was only a short amount on the Earth that we know, 616, on the reality they were in, time sped up so fast. So while at first Mary Jane was waiting for Peter, 100% Peter, eventually she had to move around. She grew closer with Paul. She found some two kids that were orphaned and they adopted them together. And eventually she created her own little family. So when Peter does pop up and they fight the bad guy, it's a whiplash for him because he sees these kids and guy and he's just like, what the hell just happened? I was here like an hour ago. And she goes, Peter, for me, it's been close to 4 years. Okay, now we come to the recent issue, the one everyone's bugging about. And before we go to this, let's just tackle Miss Marvel. She's a very popular character. She's a fan favorite that's been recently introduced. I enjoy her quite a bit. Within The Amazing Spider-Man, she's been sort of a background character. If you want to take a look at this tweet, it kind of shows that she's popped up a couple times throughout the book. Not enough to be a recurring side character, but enough to be noticeable. So in this final issue, this bad guy, he shows back up again. He won't leave them alone. He has no chill, and he's trying to kill them. Miss Marvel and Osborn show up, and Miss Marvel is like, hey, I'll keep Mary Jane busy. Y'all keep fighting. She tells Mary Jane to dip, and she transforms herself into Mary Jane. She gets stabbed. The guy who's worshiping this god fucks up his ritual, and he apparently dies. And Miss Marvel, with her last breath, says her creed and dies, and that's the whole issue. When you take a character like Miss Marvel and you want to do something like killing, it's something that just happens. It's the comic book medium. People die every other day. They're brought back, alternate versions. It's just what kind of happens within this medium. But if you look at how it happened, it just comes off as really hollow to me. One, she's barely a supporting player in this book. Two, she's not surrounded by her family or friends or even her proper mentors like Captain Marvel and Iron Man. She's surrounded by basically strangers. And three, it has nothing to do with her. There is a trope in media where women die in service of their male counterpart. Their lead often not really having anything to do with them as characters, but just as props to progress the male counterpart's story, which is just a really tired trope in media. I mean, look at the Gwen Stacy death. At the time, it didn't do anything for her or her family or her friends. There was never some great thing where she was brought back to life and had to face the fact that she died. Her death was symbolic to Peter, and it affected his journey. It changed the tone of the book at the time. And it almost feels kind of silly to see a character that is that big, who just had a TV show, who's coming out in a movie in November at the time of this recording, and is just killed off so unceremoniously. Like, the way it's presented acts like it's some big, great sacrifice, dramatic thing, yet there's no proper build-up to that sacrifice within the span of the book itself. She's barely interacted with Peter, she really only showed up to keep an eye on Osborn, and she has nothing really to do with the plot, so her death seems less like some big point that's going to push Peter and more so just something created for shock value. And honestly, if Marvel editorial came out and said, hey, we just wanted to kill her for the cash to generate some money for this book, I believe them, because this whole thing reeks of editorial. It just feels so pointless. They're gonna bring her back, and the death itself wasn't presented in a way that I found interesting at all. It came off almost annoyed. It's annoying. It's not special, it wasn't engaging, and I'm not having fun. It's not fun. I'm not reading it. If you guys want to check out a good spider book, go check out Miles Morales. He turned his Venom Blast into a sword. That's some sick shit right there. I love that. Love that for him. Yeah, that's just my unstructured thoughts on the whole Miss Marvel debacle. I don't know if I'm making another one of these videos. I just wanted to talk about it because it's been rattling my brain, and now I'm off to go watch Spider-Verse for the second time because it's a really fucking good movie. If you enjoy what you're watching, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Put down in the comments how much you hate Peter. How much do you hate Peter Parker? Put it in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Bye.